Hello! Welcome back, everyone. Oh my gosh, it has been a very long time. I think it's been actually exactly a year, almost, since I've made a video on YouTube just in general, and my oh my, what a year it has been. I don't really know where to start with this video because I don't want to spend too much time talking about like where I've been, why I left, all of that stuff, because all of that you can find on my Patreon. I have several videos talking about YouTube and, you know, why I decided to step away from my very large platform and just the thought that went behind that process. So you can find those answers over there. I more so wanted to talk about like why I'm back on this particular channel and what you can expect to see going forward, because I'm really excited. Let's rewind and let's kind of briefly talk about the past year, and then we can talk about where we're headed. I made my last YouTube video in November of last year, and at the time it was such an easy decision. It was maybe the easiest decision I've ever made in my life. I took the year to just like go really slowly. And I think that's something that a lot of people talk about, you know, soft life, slow living, all of these things. But it's really hard to actually be doing that when you are constantly filming, constantly taking pictures, constantly recording. Like when you're doing that, I think that this idea of like a slow life or a soft life, like it doesn't, the two can't really coexist, right? So what I did for the last year was I actually lived a much slower, softer life, like in practice. And one of the things that I ended up doing is becoming a florist. I'm a flower girl full-time. I am a florist and I also grow flowers and I sell them locally, and it's just been such a beautiful journey to find something that I'm really passionate about and also find something that that I kind of had more control over. It's been so nice to have something that's like tangible, have something that is real. As much as I love social media and video content and media content in general, it's not real, right? Like I can't reach through the screen and touch you right now, but I can go into my garden, I can go into my micro farm and I can dig up the soil, I can till the soil, I can plant the seeds, and that's just something that has been so incredibly grounding and rewarding for me over the last year. And starting a flower farm and growing flowers and selling them, like, oh my gosh, it's been such a blessing, such a blessing. It's been amazing. And I've loved it so much, and I'm going to continue doing that no matter what happens in my life, because it's just something that I get so much joy out of. So yeah, I'm a florist and I love that. I didn't want to be the kind of influencer who just like spouted off my opinions all the time, and I felt like that's what I was doing, and I didn't like that. So it's been really great to actually like take a step back and learn something, like learn from the best of the best. Learn how to learn how to do something instead of just like whipping out a camera and being like, you know, hey guys, here's what I'm eating today. Like I wanted to be able to add value. And so I really took this last year to learn something that I will be able to then teach you within the content here. I've learned so much about floristry and floral design, and this is just the beginning, but I'm excited to showcase that here on this channel. So with that said, let's talk about this channel and what you can expect to see here. I did a Q&A over on Patreon not long ago where someone asked, are you ever coming back to YouTube? A couple people asked me that. And my response to them was, if I did, I would come back to my second channel. I would not go back to the Feminine Fancy channel, and I would likely do a lot of lifestyle, design, homemaking, baking, cooking, that sort of Martha Stewart-esque content that I love so much. And I think it's really funny because right after I filmed that video, her documentary on Netflix came out. So now I feel like it's gonna seem like I'm just like back because Martha Stewart had a documentary on Netflix that I watched. But actually I've been saying this for a while, like if I did come back, it would be different to how I did YouTube in the past. So that's what we're doing here. My husband and I recently moved and we are in a new place that I love so much. It's so beautiful. We've got these beautiful giant windows all over the place. It really is a treetop cottage. Like I love it so much. And we decided on the name Marigold Manor for this place. As you guys know, our last place was called Fancy Cottage. This place is called Marigold Manor. And I'm really excited because I can't wait to host host in here. My husband and I were just talking yesterday about how we want to host more dinner parties, brunch parties, you know, little micro coffee shop things for our friends. And as soon as we get all of these moving boxes out of here, I think we will definitely start doing that. In that same vein, I decided that I want to change the name of this channel from The Fancy Diaries to Marigold Manor, because in truth, the name The Feminine Fancy and Fancy Diaries and Fancy, like, it doesn't resonate with me anymore. And I know I'm sure that's gonna break some hearts out there, but I have to evolve with where I'm at in life and with who I am now, not who I was 5 years ago when I started the channel. And the brass tacks is that, like, I'm not that same person, and I don't really resonate with even some of my beliefs back then. Even some of the things that I used to talk about on YouTube, I just don't really, that's just not who I am. And I think the name The Feminine Fancy and Fancy Cottage and Fancy Diaries, like, it feels a little bit too stuffy for me now. And so I will be changing the name of this channel to Marigold Manor to match where we're at in life, and also because the content on this channel, I want to be a lot more home focused. I want to talk about home decor and interior design and floral design and share recipes and all of that sort of stuff. I don't want it to be you know, I don't want to ever come off ever again like I'm telling you what to do with your life, and like I'm coming from this perfect, prim and proper perspective, because I'm not that girl. I'm not that woman. I am a married woman now. I've had so many more life experiences than I had when I started my first channel, and I just feel like I'm at a place now where I want anything that I put out into the world, any public content that I make, I want it to reflect who I am today, not who I was 5 years ago. So we will be changing the name of this channel, and we will be moving forward with Marigold Manor as the new name of this channel, at least. I don't know if I'll change it on the blog or anything like that, but on this channel at least, we will be changing the name. Another reason why I felt called to come back to YouTube and this channel is because I don't really feel like I see the kind of content that I like being made by women in my same, like, space in life. So I feel like I get fed a lot of, like, hosting content and, you know, like that. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar, like, I don't know if you use TikTok, but I get a lot of recommendations for creators who are making that sort of, like, you know, prep with me for my Thanksgiving dinner, or prep with me for my Friendsgiving, or whatever, and all of that, and it's so cute and great. But I'm only seeing girls in their 20s, or women in their 20s. I'm only seeing young women who are maybe not married, maybe they have a boyfriend, or, you know, they just have girlfriends who don't have the same sorts of responsibilities that I think women in their 30s tend to have. And so I'm scrolling through, and sometimes I'm like, you're having a dinner party for 15 people? Like, how? and then I remember that, like, as you get older, like, your friendships change, your friendship groups dissolve, like, people get married, people move away, and I just don't feel like I'm seeing any content being made for women who are maybe in their early 30s or mid 30s or 30s and above, who, like, do have a family, a husband or kids, you know, a full-time job, all of these things, and who also want to engage and invest in this content. It just seems like it doesn't exist as much. What I'm seeing a lot of is, like, young, hot, like, 25-year-olds, you know, hosting their girlfriends. When I was 23 and 24, I did those things as well. But as you get older and as life changes and shifts and you have different responsibilities, it's not as easy. And so I just don't feel like I've been seeing women who are in their 30s, who are a little bit more established, who are a little bit older, making that sort of content. And I just want to be that representation, because I am in my 30s. I'm 31, and I'm super proud to be this age, and I'm super grateful to have made it to this age. And as much as I love watching my little young, early, mid-20s girlies making their charcuterie boards for, you know, 10 of their single friends, that's not where I'm at in life right now. And I know that's not where many of you are at either. And so I want to be sort of that representation for us 30s girlies. Tap into that, because I just don't feel like I'm seeing it very much. So that's another reason why I decided to that's one of the reasons why I decided to come back as well. Let's talk about what you're in for on this channel. Number one, obviously, I'm just gonna call it kitchen content. what's going on in the kitchen. With the holidays coming up, I honestly couldn't think of a better time to come back, especially since it has been a year. A lot of us are going to be baking desserts, making holiday stuffing and gravy and turkey and all these things. And I think it's really beautiful to see all the different cultures and how they do it differently. I remember growing up, we always had arroz con gandules for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And there was one time when I was in like an acting class and we were all talking about like what we have for Thanksgiving dinner. And I was like, oh, well, rice and peas. And they were like, rice and peas, why are you having rice at Thanksgiving? And I was like, you don't have rice on your Thanksgiving table? Like, what's wrong with you? But I just feel like that goes to show like there's so many beautiful, like different cultural aspects to the holiday season, and I really want to bring that here as well. My mom makes so many delicious like Panamanian recipes and desserts for the holidays, and I want to bring her on the channel, have her teach us how to make her sarril, how to make her plátanos en tentación, like all of the delicious things that are part of my culture. I can't wait to bring to the channel and like show you guys how to make, and just, you know, have it be a celebration of culture as well, which I feel like I wasn't able to do much of on the Feminine Fancy channel. I wasn't able to talk about my heritage or my culture as much, and I am super proud of it, and I want to embrace it and incorporate that into the homemaking-esque content, because I feel like the homemaking content that we get to see is super, super Americana, which is great. Love that, you know, proud. But I want to also embrace where I come from. I think it would be cool to showcase like some of the dishes and treats that I grew up having here on this channel as well. So kitchen content is number one. Second is home decor content. I have big dreams for our cute little treehouse cottage. I honestly have very, very big dreams for this place, and I'm so excited to watch them come to life. And I'm really excited to put our own like twist and personality in this place. It's a bit of a blank canvas, so I'm just thrilled that we get to like inject our style, and so I want to also showcase that on this channel as well. I have some really good ideas for our dining area and our living room area and our guest bedroom, and I just can't wait to like do the whole thing and have it be like, yeah, the treetop cottage of my dreams, which it already is, but like I want it to be in the design style that I like, and I have so many good ideas. So I want to share that with you guys as well. And then of course my flower content. I want to teach you guys everything I know and everything that I've learned over the last year about floral design and how to make beautiful tablescapes using flowers and fruits, all of the tips and tricks that like you look at a picture on Instagram and you're like, how did they do that? Oh, I would have never thought about that. I want to teach you guys everything I've learned about creating those sorts of tablescapes and imagery, and just so that you can live the most elevated life possible. And I think that's where I want to end this video. This channel is here to serve as inspiration for how to elevate your everyday life if you want to. Something as simple as taking out your good china for dinner instead of using paper plates, or something as simple as, you know, having a dining table that is set every day. That's something that I learned from my mom and something that I have done in our homes. But I also want this channel to serve as inspiration for you if you're still living at home, if you live in a dorm room, if you maybe are not in, you know, the home of your dreams, but I want you to know that like no matter where you're at in life, you can elevate the everyday. And I just think, you know, by making a homemade loaf of bread, or by making homemade scones or biscuits and a nice cup of tea, or you know, a nice glass of sarril during the holidays, like all of those little things that you do on a daily basis add up to making your life feel a lot more intentional and a lot more elevated and a lot more beautiful. And that's all I want to do on this channel, is just encourage you guys to live a beautiful life no matter where you are in your life right now. So with that said, I'm gonna end this video, and I'm going to try and break down some boxes because we have a lot of work to do in this place before we are officially ready to start like filming. If you want more content, if you have more questions about where I've been and like my whole thought process behind all of this, head over to Patreon. I've made a lot of videos on Patreon over the last year actually, and that's been really fun. So again, if you are a Patreon supporter, I love you guys so much. I know I express it over there all the time, but like I really do appreciate you guys so much. You allowed me to have the time to figure out how I wanted to show up in the world. And your financial support, your emotional support has been so welcomed. So thank you so much if you are a Patreon supporter. If you're not, I will leave the link down below and you'll have access to all of my feminine fancy content. I think majority of my old videos are on the Patreon, and you'll also have access to new videos that I filmed over the last year. So with all of that said, thank you guys so much. I'm so excited for where we're headed, and welcome to Marigold Manor. Thank you for watching. Bye.